we did some number crunching, and from our combine last year, Trevin Nell was our fastest 3/4 court sprinter. I think
we
3
need to emphasize
small
the right
sample
here.
size.
So
Not everyone's been.
I don't even call it. No, we got to bold it. We got to clip it. And let's throw it out to the world that I was the fastest.
Dawson was injured, so we didn't get any numbers on him. I don't know if he wants to say that he'd be faster. And we will say we did have a kid at camp last week who had a 3:15, so you're only 100th of a second faster than like a 15-year-old. But
hey, all I heard is I still won. Okay.
So,
some of these athletes at the Fathers and Sons camp were elite.
Actually elite.
It was a cool station because we got to see these dads try really hard, and some of these kids were super impressive. Some of these dads were impressive too. But
real quick, we kind of like skipped over, but like I know so many people talk about the little chip in our back.
the Catapult.
The Catapult.
Yeah.
So I'm very superstitious, but like for the Catapult, I liked it because we like shrunk it, down. But like talk about what the Catapult even is. Shot tracker, like talk about those little things that we use so much.
So we use Catapult right now. If people have seen the little chips that go on the back of the jersey, some guys are wearing sports bras. Basically, that's what it is. Catapult connects on StatSport, or all companies that basically do GPS monitoring, and they track movements through an accelerometer or GPS systems. And so basically, that's a huge part of what we do. We use it basically to track your practice load and your game loads. And so what it allows us to do is basically see just how much our guys are doing on a day-to-day basis, and we use it to kind of periodize our entire season. And
your vocab is unreal.
This new title is got
science, I guess. No, so that's been one thing that I've really honed in on this year. I'm kind of taking on that role of the kind of the load management side and making sure you guys are peaking at the right time. And so we're really thankful to have a coaching staff that's super bought into it. And so, we give them a suggested load number for the day, and they follow it almost to a T. And so I think that was helpful in terms of keeping you guys healthy and fresh. I know you guys talked about just feeling your body's feeling good going into March Madness and stuff like that. And so, we start off with heavier loads in, September and October and during non-conference. And then so by the time Big 12 play is coming, we're shortening practice, making sure we're accounting for those higher game loads. And then we really drop it down in March so that you guys are fresh and you're running around. And our goal is to make you guys feel the best that you have all year at the most important time of the year. So the little chips help us do that.
Sports science right here, baby.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're on, because these are like the things that, like, even when I first came to BYU, like all this technology stuff is like so unique, and like it's not across college you see this. So it's super cool that like the fans get to see from the real perspective of what we kind of go through. Is there anything else that you can think of that the average fan wouldn't like understand about our kind of conditioning and all that?
Yeah, I think honestly what people underestimate is just how much you guys are doing.
So true.
I think especially when we get in that fall period where the hours get ramped up and we're going.
There's no games.
So, there's no games, just all practice. And from a sports performance standpoint, that's where we want our highest loads, because we want to expose you to really high volume of running and just being on your feet and lifting. And so, and we won't really have that time the rest of the season to push you guys like that, because you're going to be playing. And so I don't think people realize that, you guys are coming in and we're getting an hour lift in, and then you're practicing for an hour, hour and a half, hour 45. Then you guys are going through treatment, going to class, coming back. Most of you guys will get shots up, maybe do an individual with your coaches. And so, I think people don't realize the toll that takes on your body and how locked you have to be with the sleep and the nutrition and the treatment and the recovery, just to allow you to practice at that level, let alone play and let alone, perform and be successful. Every D1 athlete, every team in the country is lifting and practicing and getting individuals. So that's honestly the bare minimum to keep up. Yeah. And so when people talk about hard workers in college, you're the 1% of the hard workers. And so, just going to practice and lifting and getting better is honestly the minimum.
Yeah.